Hey everyone, Joe here. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can get this photo from this photo. Okay, let's take the photo they're going to be editing and open it up in the Develop module. So, here's the irony in today's tutorial, really. A tourist wants to remove other tourists from his tourist photos. Hey, me. This is a photo I took in Macao quite a few years back. It's been a while since I've been there, but it had a lot of really nice streets and stuff, like this one's shown here. However, like all tourist traps, it is loaded with people everywhere. And, well, this is a photo I've been sitting on because it's such a great photo, but there's so many people in it. Now, there are many reasons to remove people. One, you may not want to have them in your photo because you just don't like people. Or two, you might be concerned about their own privacy. Both are valid concerns. But up until recently, you're pretty much screwed just having people in your photos unless you really don't want them there and have to do one of those multi-frame photos where you take many photos and wait till somebody moves out so you can layer them out. But now, AI tools are finally getting somewhat useful enough that it can do it for us. So anyway, I have two photos here, and since AI is still very unreliable, I'm going to show you this image here on the screen that's got all the people in it. And here's the other image after AI has removed things. Now, you're going to notice, like for example, this window where the two couple was standing looking at their cell phone or whatever. The window in the background is like this one on the side over here between it and High Times building. However, in the AI one, it was kind of different. And you'll notice varying inconsistencies throughout the image like that because the AI is trying to guess what's supposed to be there. It don't have any real understanding. God forbid when AI does get understanding, we're in Judgment Day and Terminator is going to become real life. But until then, we can enjoy some halfway creative photos. Now, also in the shop here, I had to use a different AI tool because when the people in there moved, and well, anyway, I'll show you. Not every tool for removing things is best for everything. So let's go ahead and start removing some people from our image. Now you got the eraser tool over here in the corner. Let's go ahead and click on that and click on remove. Now, distraction removal. Yeah, that's what they call people, distractions. I find the dust one actually works quite well. People one is questionable at times. The reflections, well, we'll find out. So let's click on here, click the little down arrow, and then it automatically start highlighting stuff. And I'm gonna let this run through normal. As you can see, it's highlighted the people in the shop, the people here next to the bush, and these people with their back turned to us in the far over here. Let's go ahead and click remove and see what the AI roulette gives us. And it may take a second to remove them. Let's let it play out. You can see the shop here. Shop don't look too bad in this one. However, it's still not perfect. And you can see here, we click this one, we can actually remove that one. And let's just see, remove. Oop, that's not the button I wanted, Joy. That one actually ain't too bad. I've seen it worse. And you can click on each one of them to get a different look at everything. See if we click on this one, changes it to that one. Maybe that's what you want. And this one, so that's the first one. Second one, kind of all right, kind of not all right. Really depends on what you're going for. See what the third one gave us. Okay. This kind of isn't too bad. It is way better than the original one. That one kind of dated. Let's see. That one gives a different look. Maybe not. It kind of thinks the window is a, I don't know what it thinks the window is. Bright spot. Don't know why it's giving us a bright spot. As you can see, it kind of does it all right. I don't know what those bright spots are from. Really don't know what's going on here with that. As you can see, that one isn't working too well. The others over here don't seem to be too bad. I would actually just leave these, be quite honest. However, and the shop actually doesn't turn out too bad. But let's say this didn't work out for you. All right. So if you don't like the way they look sometimes, you can actually go through and just have it regenerate them all. And we will do that and take another look. Okay. So I want to go ahead and just hit delete here because I want to show y'all a different way on that one. And this one too, just delete. All right. Because you can see that little film or whatever. I think some kind of sign it has up. We can click on the remove tool over here and use generative AI and kind of remove these ourselves. So in case that other tool isn't working out for you, try using this one. And this one is also a Russian roulette because it may or may not work out too well either. And remember, only mask out the very least amount. Because the more you mask out, the more it has to, try to figure out. Let's see what happens here. Okay. As you can see, I liked how it did this one on the side over here. This one did quite well. This one, actually, it works. Be honestly, looking at this scene and everything in here, you wouldn't realize it wasn't there unless you're actually nitpicking or pixel, pixel hunting, I guess. Overall, like I said, you may have to go through on a few of them and redo them quite a few times. Like I said, though, due to the fact that this is just round robin, it could, like I said, it's gambling every time you use the AI stuff. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. Then it'll take us over. But until then, what I did is I went through tried this about a dozen times till I got an image that I thought looked good enough for the tutorial. And that would be this one over here. Let me see. Close these two up. And let's go to the image I done. And there it is. So you can see, not much difference between the one I had in there. I think my scene here looks a little more realistic. Window is kind of, but maybe you're thinking, maybe, who knows. Overall, I think mine looks a little more interesting, not as off or digitally generated, I guess you could say, but it's still not perfect. I just like the shop look of mine better, and I don't have this weird glow below the lamp for some odd reason. So this is the one we're going to go with. So I just want to kind of point that out. If you're going to be editing any photos and stuff, make sure you do the AI stuff first. Even if you're going to crop out that section of the photo, do the AI work first, because you may have to take multiple tries to get it right, and you may end up finding you never find a good end result that you're looking for. This, I think, was like I said, probably the 12th try, and I went through like a dozen different ones, and I finally picked out this one that looked the best overall. So you may have to try multiple times to get the one you want. Here's the photo that we're going to be editing after I done get the AI work done. All right, let's go through and do our local adjustments. You know how we do everything here. Well, let's first start with lens corrections. Always lens corrections and details and all that stuff. Go ahead and pop the lens corrections in. All right, remove chromata, remove enable profile, and good. My Canon EFS 10 to 22 millimeter lens is seen. Okay. Go here to manual. I do want to take out a little bit of more chroma. This lens is almost 30 years old, and it shows it in some of the images. Even though you don't see any chroma in here, if we pixel peeped, we would find just a little in high contrast areas towards the corners. So just go ahead and hit 3 and 3 on that. And if you're running this lens, it really depends on your lens. Got to know your gear, folks. All right. Now we want to do just a little bit of transform here and kind of straighten this image up. As you can see, the wall is kind of slanted inward. Some of the building's kind of slanted inward. You get this from a wide angle lens, and you have to know how to, compensate for it. This is actually pretty easy. I think a -7 is what I used. Yeah, -7 is what I used on this image. Then the rotation here was just very slight rotation, negative 0.01 if I can dial that in. And there we go. Alrighty. And that straightened it up quite nice looking at the grid and everything. Alright. So we'll get that done. Now let's just do a quick crop. And the cropping here, I want to leave as is original, you know, 4:3 as a camera. However, we need to do just a little bit here. I want to pull that in and a little bit here, about right there. Let me see. Yeah, that worked. I think that worked out for me. Yeah, that's about where I had it on the original image. And let's go ahead and tighten in that crop. And there we go. And this is the part of the image that we're going to focus on now. Now let's go do our details. Do our noise reduction and everything. Go ahead and do our AI denoise. The only denoising algorithm Adobe has. It actually works pretty good at the moment. So let's go ahead and do our sharpening. The sharpening I used on this one. Let me see, what was it? Oh yeah, I pulled the sharpening up quite high, but first let's do the masking. Didn't do too high on masking. Remember, you can hit the option, the Alt key, and pull the scroll indicator, whatever you call this thing, over and see what we want masked out. Everything in white is getting sharpened. Everything in black is not getting sharpened. I think 30 is about where I want it for this image because I want a little bit of, you know, detail and stuff and everything. And the amount here, I do want to pull it up quite a bit. And of course, you can hit the Alt or Option key on, depending on if you use Mac or PC, and pull this up. And I pull this up quite high. I think it's about 95. And that looks good for the resolution that we're using right here. And you'll see that looks probably sharp. No issues whatsoever on that. I think it's a good overall image for a 30-year-old lens. All right. Okay, now to get that done, let's do our global adjustments. Global adjustments here. The exposure I'm going to leave as is. Of course, before I forget, the white balance is as shot. Not changing any of that. Didn't need to for this image. Exposure, the contrast I did bump up. If I'm not mistaken, I bumped this up to 10. And you see here, like this, boom, much easier to adjust. Boom, 10. The highlight shadows, whites and blacks. Let's pull the shadows down. Well, excuse me, the highlights down. The negative 30 on that. The shadows left at 0, and the whites I bumped up. Plus 25 on that. And the blacks, I popped that down just very, very little. Normally I don't move the blacks too much because it's normally where I want it when I take my photos. But let's just see what that does so far. See, just pull back some details. You know, you want some detail in the sign. You want to be able to see it. But we don't want everything just completely blown out around it. And that's what we're doing here. We're pulling back some of that. Now, we will go back and make these glow, but we want it to glow with detail, not glow just being blown out. Okay, now we're going to pop a little bit of clarity in there. Haven't used clarity in a while. Let's see, where do I have it on the clarity here? Yeah, plus 25, which is not too bad. A little modest amount here. Yeah, it looks quite nice. Add a little bit more texture and stuff to things. Well, making things look too gritty. All right, now the vibrance here. Vibrance we pulled up just a little bit on this image to plus 15. And the saturation, since I want to make things a little more saturated, a little more glowy, pull that up to a 20. Yeah, and that looks quite good. Let's see what before and after on that one. Looking quite nice. A nice, good, warm glow, you know, evening street look to it. Okay, for the lighting, I didn't want all the lights all yellowed out. Normally, a lot of images, you know, you want to go for like a nice, you know, warm tone on the lights and stuff. And the shadows stuff, you want nice coolness. For this one, I'm going to basically leave the lights and stuff and the highlights, the colors the way they are. However, we are going to make the other areas a little more bluer. So let's go down here to our tone curve next and click on the white curve. Okay, for this one, we're going to have 3 points. The first point, a second point around the middle, then the last point. The first point here, let's see what I had that on that one. That was a 10/25. So we pull this up. 10/25. Boom, nailed it. Man, I'm lucky on that one. And that's going to soften up the shadows. I want to kind of give it, a Polaroid-ish style look. So that's what we kind of went for that. The center, 128, 128. Luckily, I nailed it on that one. And the last one is at 255, 255. We're not even touching it. Just leave it. The refined saturation, leave that at 100. Okay, wonderful. Now let's click on the reds. I'll click on the red here. It's going to be pretty easy on this one. Just going to pull this up to a 10/0. Boom, there we go. Pull the reds down, 10/0, or 10 on the input, output 0. Okay. Do something similar with the greens. We're going to pull a 10/0 on that one as well. Oops. You actually create a point like I just did. Double click on it, removes it. Click on that point, 10/0. Boom. Okay, what there's doing, I'm actually removing any kind of warmth from the shadows. Just very, very slightly. Now, this blue one, we're going to go back the opposite direction. We'll go 0/20. We're going to add some blues here in the shadows. And now you can see what I did to the image, before and after. If you don't want that much blue in there, you can tone it down if you want. If you want a lot less, maybe you want just a hint. It was really hard for me to find a spot that was particularly sweet on, and this is about close as I got. And I think in the final image, it looks pretty good. Okay, now we're done with the tone curves. And let's go over here. Oh yeah, let's do a post-crop vignetting now. Go ahead and do this one. Instead of doing it last, let's just pull it down here. It was pretty simple, and I just pulled this one down to -25, left everything as default. And that's kind of focus everything towards the center of the image here. Okay, wonderful. Now let's do our local adjustments. And local adjustments actually pretty quick on this one. Okay, so we're gonna do a little brush masking. And for the lamp here, I want size 30 on the lamp. Now, if anybody's wondering, all my other settings, feather, flow, and density, I'll just leave it 100. And let's see here, 30 on the lamp. Yes, that's what I did. About right here in the center, click on it. Boom, put that one on there. This one will click. The high time, I did about center on it. I think about 50 on it. Yeah, much bigger. Click around center ways on the high time. Click on that. Boom, got that one now. And then on the other here, the Timex and other branding signs, I went down to a 15 on that. On the brush size. Just kind of start up here and drag all the way down. Kind of brush in just a little bit here on the top. There we go. Now we've got that looking quite nice. So what do we do here? Well, what I did was I bumped the exposure up one full stop on this one. So I went up to one stop on this one. Kind of brighten that all back up. However, we still want to retain some detail in the lights. We don't want to make blown out. So we pulled out just a little -10 on the highlights here. And the dehaze a -30. And that dehaze at -30 isn't going to remove haze. It's going to add haze. And I went down too far. Here we go. Here we go. Dehaze. And this kind of give it a nice bloom effect. Makes those lights really bloom and stand out. So I can show you without the mask, with the mask. And I think that looks pretty good overall. Okay, so let's do a little before and after. Okay, everybody. So that's it for this photo. Let me know what you think about this edit down in the comments below. Do you like it? Do you hate it? What would you have done different? Feedback below really does help out. So anyway, I hope you liked the video. If you did, how about sharing it with your friends and family that also love photography? And if you ain't subscribed to the channel yet, now's a great time to subscribe. Subscribing is free. It's for you. Let you know when I release more videos. Until next time, everyone, thank you for watching.